Hi, welcome back to Everyday Behavior. This month, again, we're talking about high intensity, low frequency behavior. So we talked about stimulus class a minute ago, and we talked about frequency, intensity, and duration in the first video. But during this video, we're talking about response class. And I think this is the most important thing to consider when assessing a high intensity, low frequency behavior, because typically those behaviors occur as part of a larger class of behaviors, a larger system of behaviors. So there are a lot of things that can serve the same purpose. And so a response class is a group of behaviors that all result in the same reinforcement or serve the same function. So there's a lot of ways to get parental attention. You may get parental attention through having a tantrum. So maybe if I throw a fit, stomp my feet, you may get parental attention from that. It may be that high intensity attention from that. It could be sibling disagreement. Okay, I'm playing nicely with my sibling, not getting any attention, no big deal. And then all of a sudden, we start getting into a fight and mom is right there intervening. Oh, I got attention. So I can get attention for a tantrum. I can get attention for having a disagreement, or I can get attention for yelling and screaming. It could be that crying and hitting and arguing all get parental attention. They're all behaviors that can serve the same function. So when we're looking at that high intensity behavior, a lot of times it's part of a larger class of behaviors. So if you're in this school system and you're working on an FBA or a behavior intervention plan or some kind of manifest determination or something like that, and you're trying to figure out, okay, we've had this really intense behavior where the child got suspended and they got sent home, and now we need to do this FBA, but this behavior occurs once every 6 months. And so, we have one instance where it occurred, and we have, these ABC logs with no instances on them, and how are we going to assess this? What I would encourage you to do is assess lower intensity behaviors that maybe are part of that same response class. So maybe they got a lot of, maybe there were a lot of things that happened, but look at those less intense behaviors, such as maybe just school refusal or mild behaviors that result in getting sent to the principal's office or getting sent out of the class or something like that. Are there smaller behaviors like just mild crying or whining or little things that maybe all serve the same function and the same purpose so that you can address less intense behaviors? It's kind of like a preventative strategy that if we can assess and intervene on these less intense behaviors that all serve the same purpose or the same function of maybe escape from a task demand, or all serve the same function of getting attention, all serve the same function of getting access to some kind of object or activity, and it could be related to that denied access. So can we look at other behaviors? So maybe you have a hypothesis that this child is engaging in this behavior in order to escape school or escape a task demand. Okay, what are other behaviors that are part of that response class, like maybe work refusal or mild school refusal or getting sent to the principal's office or getting sent out of the classroom, that also serve the same purpose? Do an ABC log on those behaviors, part of the less intense, higher frequency behaviors, so that you can intervene on that more intense behavior and prevent it from occurring again in the future. So when you're struggling with, okay, how do I address or how do I assess this high intensity behavior that occurs once every 6 months, look to see or hypothesize, does it occur as part of a larger group of behaviors, and assess or intervene first on those lower intensity behaviors that serve the same function. It may be that you're hypothesizing. You may not have a experimental analysis or anything to say, yes, these are all part of the same class. But if you can kind of hypothesize based on the pattern of those more infrequent behaviors, then you might be able to get enough data so that you can do that FBA or that FA. The same goes for parents. Maybe you're really struggling with, okay, these behaviors, these tantrums only occur every now and then. Are there some less intense behaviors that lead up to that? And we're going to talk about this a little bit more in our next video, which is going to talk about a behavior chain. And that talks about kind of the escalation of behaviors from less intense to more intense behaviors. But you're looking at these class of behaviors. So rather than evaluating a single behavior in your antecedents, when you're looking at your antecedents, evaluate, is this part of a larger stimulus class, a larger antecedent class of behaviors? It's not one single antecedent, it's not one single thing, but it's a part of a greater group of antecedents. Look at your behaviors. Is that part of a greater group or a greater class of behaviors, such as tantrums, sibling disagreements, yelling, that all lead to the same consequence? So sometimes when you're looking at a broader net, you can establish a function easier than if you're assessing one single behavior. I hope that you're finding this information helpful, or maybe it's triggering some new ideas. Again, as with all of our videos, they're created in a partnership with the Oklahoma State Department of Education by myself, Mary Ann Shepard, or Dr. Mary Ann Hubbard. And I just want to thank you for attending. For more information or resources, you can locate more information on our website at everydaybehaviors.com. You can also follow on Facebook at Everyday Behavior with Dr. Mary Ann, or on YouTube. Just hit the red subscribe button and also be looking for podcasts in the near future. Thank you.